Howdy, my name is Brian Foley. I'm a criminal defense lawyer here in Conroe, Texas, and I represent folks who've been accused of a crime in Conroe, the Woodlands, and Houston. So today we're continuing our series on the dirty little secret of criminal law. Today's crime is going to be possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1. So what does penalty group 1 mean? Well, there's different ways that drugs are classified. They have schedules, but most importantly in Texas, they have penalty groups, okay? And the most severe penalty groups are penalty groups 1 and 2. The punishment ranges are highest in penalty groups 1 and 2. Marijuana is actually in its own section. It's just possession of marijuana, but most other drugs are in some type of a penalty group. So penalty group 1, again, being the most serious, consists of things like cocaine, methamphetamine, and heroin. And so there are plenty of other drugs that are listed in penalty group 1, but almost every penalty group 1 possession case out there is going to be one of those few drugs: cocaine, heroin, or methamphetamine. A lot of people ask me, well, what about crack? Is crack part of that? Well, crack is part of crack cocaine. That's going to be tested and determined to be cocaine, and so that's still going to be in penalty group 1. Another recent trend is that pills that people thought were ecstasy or MDMA, 3,4-methylene deoxymethamphetamine, those pills are coming back to be actually testing positive for regular methamphetamine. So they're not going to be listed under penalty group 2, they're actually getting listed under penalty group 1. And that's happening 90–95% of the time with what looks like an ecstasy pill. It's actually a methamphetamine pill. So what happens if you get charged with a possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1? Well, the first thing that's going to happen is hopefully you're going to be given a bond. If it's your first offense, you're definitely going to be given some kind of bond, but you're likely to be given bond conditions where you have to report to basically like a probation before you're even convicted of the crime. It really is punitive in nature. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be to secure your appearance at the trial, but the bond conditions section of our laws say that a judge can impose restrictions like drug testing. Once a week in Montgomery County, they make you call in every day to determine if it's your day to take a test or not. And then if it's your day randomly assigned, then boom, you have to go in and take a drug test that day with very little notice. It's very time consuming and cumbersome on the person that it's happening to. And so if there's a way to get those bond conditions changed, then you want to try to explore that, but judges are very reluctant to change bond conditions, especially drug testing provisions in a case that involves the possession of a drug. So what does possession mean? I get asked this a lot. Like, I was in a car, the drugs didn't belong to me, they were my cousins, they were left there, on the passenger seat. I knew they were there, but they were just left there. Well, the law in Texas says that possession does not mean ownership. It means actual care, custody, control, or management. And so if you are in control of it in some way, and let's say you're the only person in the car, then you very well could be found to be in possession of it. Now, if it depends on the circumstances and the facts of your case in particular. I didn't say that every time drugs are found in a car, the person is convicted. That's not true. There has to be something called affirmative links between the drugs and the person involved and charged with the crime. What is the punishment range for an offense under penalty group 1? Well, there's multiple different punishment ranges. The first group for the range of punishment, it depends on how much of the substance you have possessed. Now, I'm not talking about possessing a substance with the intent to deliver or manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance, penalty group 1. That's a separate crime. Possession itself is the range of the amounts of drugs that you would be in possession of is 0 to 1 gram. So some kind of trace amount up to 1 gram. that would be a state jail felony. From 1 to 4 grams is a third-degree felony. 4 to 200 grams is a second-degree felony. And then over that is a first-degree felony, and there's a couple different ranges there. If you have an over first-degree felony case, stop watching this YouTube video and call a lawyer immediately, because representing yourself on a felony, really on any criminal charge, is a really bad idea. There's this old saying that he who represents himself has a fool for a client. So if you're facing one of these punishment ranges on any kind of felony charge or misdemeanor charge, you should contact a lawyer immediately so they can help you protect your rights.
Well, I lost the video to this part of the clip, so I had to re-record it. The dirty little secret to possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 cases is that most of these cases, when they are less than a gram, are handled by what's called a 1244A. It makes it a felony conviction, but a misdemeanor punishment. So you only spend a couple days in jail, and boom, you get out, but you've got a felony conviction now. It means you can't have a firearm. It means you can't vote. It means so many different things, and it means it could enhance future offenses, where if this happens to you twice, you get one more. Now it's a third-degree felony punishment range, even if you have, a trace amount of this substance. So the dirty little secret here is that folks who are charged with this are often trying to just get out of jail quickly, and they'll get strapped with a felony conviction for the rest of their lives instead of trying to fight the case or get it in a position where they could do a probation or something to get the charge eventually dismissed.